All right, we are recording. Well, hello, ladies. I am so thrilled that you took out the time to come and be a part of our very first Hope Dealers team call. I'm so excited to be able to share a little bit of my story with you guys. And the vision I feel like the Lord's laid on my heart and the plan moving forward. Pretty pumped. So I want to tell you a little bit about my story, and I'm not going to tell you my health testimony. That's for another time. I wanted to share about my journey to sharing. So let's see. Well, poor Gretchen. She followed up with me for a very, very, very long time. I think it was about 11 months between the time she first reached out to me and the time I actually decided to give the products a try. And the tipping point for me was she invited me to an online night of testimonies. And I logged in and just read and saw, because there were both live testimonies and written testimonies, that they blew my mind. I mean, these were stories of pregnant and nursing mamas who gotten their lives back. These were Justin's story of getting to quit his full-time job and come home and be a full-time dad with his family. And I was just blown away and went from not understanding what the products were and being skeptical to having I guess I would describe it as a cautious optimism, a cautious hope that maybe it would work for me. Still, it took Gretchen about another week of follow-up before I actually signed up. And the night she signed me up, she added me to the team page, tagged me in the welcome posts, the pinned post at the top, and sent me some emails. And at that time in my life, I was 4 months postpartum, nursing a fussy baby almost around the clock. So I sat with my earbuds anytime that we were just sitting around and watched all of those training videos in the prep posts and read her entire email, watched all the videos, and followed the bunny trails to like more trainings all over the place. I could not wait for my products to arrive. By the time they got to me, I was so pumped. I really wanted to tell everybody, but I was scared to death because I hadn't even tried them yet. And I didn't have a story of my own. And I don't know if Gretchen had ever asked me. Well, I mean, I think very back in the beginning, she told me she'd love to do the business with me, and I shut her down. I was like, I don't really want to do the business. But at this point, I was like, I needed a story, which is really sad. So when I got my success kit, I read the entire thing, front to back. And in there, it was talking about things like making your first post and sharing other people's stories and all this stuff. And so finally, I just got to the point where about 3 weeks in, I was seeing enough changes that I knew I wanted this in my life. And I also knew I couldn't afford it. So I decided to make my first post. And some of you guys have made really beautiful first posts, like just heartfelt, beautiful stories. Mine was really not. It was really short. I was scared to death. I was almost crying. I was so nervous. I was so scared of what other people were going to think. But I was surprised at all the love that I got on my post. Nobody was interested, but a whole bunch of people were like, you go girl, take care of yourself, get healthy. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Those kinds of things. But I had watched a Jessica Heffley training video, and she had said about follow-up, she said that sometimes people aren't brave enough to reach out to you or ask you directly about what you're doing. So anybody who comments or likes, that might be all that they can muster. They're at least some level interested in you, even if they're not interested in what you're doing. So she told me to, in this video, follow up with everybody and say something like, thank you so much for supporting my Plexus post. That just means the world to me. Have you ever heard of it? So you're not coming across as a salesy person, you're just trying to gauge interest. So I did that part right. But then when they came back with, no, I've never heard of it, what is it? This is where I made a classic rookie mistake. I wrote them a book about what Plexus was or what I understood Plexus to be, which was, oh my goodness, it's awesome. It's natural. And just, you can imagine, because I'd been doing all this research and I was so excited. I wrote paragraphs. So yeah, paragraphs to these poor people. Some of them never responded. I doubt if they even read the whole thing because it was ridiculously long, probably scared them off. The people who really loved me read it, and then at the end would say something like, oh, that sounds awesome, honey. I'm so happy for you, but I'm really good with the vitamins that I'm taking. Like, and that was it. I was like, oh, this sharing thing is a lot harder than I thought it was going to be. It's like, wow, I thought everybody was just going to be like wanting to jump on this bandwagon. And then let's see. In another Jessica Heffley video that I saw, she said, maybe it wasn't Jessica Heffley. I guess it doesn't really matter. But I'd heard so many stories of this being a direct answer to prayer. People were sick, and this worked when nothing else did. So I started praying about it really hard. I was like, okay, God, so here's the thing. I feel like you brought this into my life because I've been praying for something to help me feel better. And there's all these people saying that it was such an answer to prayer. Am I supposed to, I feel like I should be telling people, but I was super scared. So I saw a video where she said, when somebody comes to mind, God probably brought them to your mind and you should reach out to them. So I started doing that. When I saw a PCOS testimony or a diabetes testimony or a depression testimony, I would start reaching out to people in my life who I knew struggled with these things. But again, being a rookie, really not knowing what I was doing, I kind of threw up Plexus on people. And so it was kind of the same thing. It was like people were, either they ignored me or they said, thanks, honey, but I'm good. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, Miss Liz over there. She's like, yeah, thanks, honey, I'm good. So let's see, when did it change? Within my first 3 weeks, my mom did agree to do it with me, but it wasn't because of me. It was because my sweet friend Gretchen had been following up with her as long as she'd been following up with me. So then when my mom heard I was doing it, she was like, yeah, okay, I'm willing to give it a try. I only needed 2 more people. So I don't remember how I got connected with Megan exactly, if it was because I made my first post or what. But she had reached out and said she was willing to be a resource to me. And so I asked her, I'm like, okay, so look, I'm 3 weeks in. I really can't afford to keep paying for these. I just want to go silver, products paid for. People need this stuff. What should I do? And she said, do a product tester post. So I did a product tester post, which if you've ever seen one of those, it's basically kind of lists a whole bunch of potential issues people might have and says something along the lines of, I'm looking for product testers. There's a 60-day money back guarantee, something along those lines. And people jumped on that. I had an aunt, a childhood girlfriend I hadn't seen in like 20 years, since we were little, and a neighbor decided to try it based on that. And so I went silver. So excited. Oh my gosh. I was like over the moon excited. I was like, this is possible. So excited. And so that gave me caught the bug, I guess. And then when you started to see the people who tried it get the results, that fueled my fire. I was pumped. So now I was like, okay, so what do these smart people who are successful say? They say to reach out to all your people. So there I went. I started reaching out to everybody, and I was just watching all these trainings. Different people had different suggestions of how to reach out, yada, yada, yada. Tried a whole bunch of different things. What I have discovered is that simple is so much better. And the less I talk, the better. And that really this is something I've just recently learned, which is why I wanted to share with you guys before you had to go through the heartache that I went through. From your very first contact with people, you are training them how this business goes. So from your first reach out to them, if they're even at all interested, they are thinking, can I do what she's doing? So if I make myself, which is what I thought I had to be, I thought I had to be the expert. Every time somebody asked me a question, I'd find out. If I didn't know right then, I would go on the team page, I would go on the Google, I would find the answer for them and I would give them the answer. Instead of utilizing what the really successful top network marketers do, using third-party tools and three-way chats. Some of you have heard us talking about what those things are. But yeah, let me look at my notes to see if I skipped over anything here. I feel like I'm missing something. But yeah, so basically I got to gold, almost to senior gold, pretty much by doing what I had been doing. I got better at asking good questions and helping people decide that they were worth taking their health seriously. I got okay at that, helping people get started for their health. But where I was failing was helping people see the potential for how simple it is to get their own products paid for, because they thought they had to do what I was doing, which was spending hours and hours doing all of this research because I had the time to do it at the time. A lot of people don't. They are working full time. They have other things going on. They don't have the time for that. And I was seeing these really successful teams. And what I mean by really successful was most of the people that joined their team went silver, or at least brought on an accountability partner or two, or found a couple of customers. Like almost everybody. How were they doing that? And so upon these lovely people started sharing their wisdom with us. So Brooke Hemingway, I don't know if you've heard of her, and Emily Gibson, these two have got it to a science. Like they have gone back and they have figured out that it goes back to your first contact with people and how to prepare people from the very beginning that you do not have to be an expert. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a business guru. You can be anybody from anywhere with any kind of crazy schedule if you know where the tools are and you have a system in place of we do this and then we do this and then we do this. It is so beautifully simple. I've been running around looking for a magic, like, I don't know what I was looking for, some kind of magic thing that was going to give me an edge and make me awesome. That's not what this is about. Like, really, I was conflicted with my own goals. My goals that I was saying to myself, what I wanted in my heart was to see anybody who wanted to achieve whatever they wanted, whether that was just health, just getting their products paid for, or taking it to whatever heights business-wise they wanted. So even though that's what I said I wanted, I wasn't making that happen with my actions. So this has been where my new mindset has happened. It's been an aha moment. And I wanted to share with you guys, don't make the same mistake I did. It's a long road of months of being frustrated with people for not wanting to, not wanting to share, or sharing and feeling like they're hitting their head against a brick wall, like nothing's happening, nothing's working. And I feel like a lot of it is because of how I trained them, how I was doing it doesn't actually work. So there's actually a system. We don't have to figure it out. How many of you, did anybody get a chance to watch the video ahead of time? A little bit of it? I'm trying to read your sign language. Okay.
Yeah, I had watched it before, Stephanie. Can I pop
Okay.
and then I'll pop on?
Cool. And then have you all actually looked at what came in your success kit? Yes, no, maybe so. You know what's beautiful? I remember when I was trying to figure this out, and I'm like, you know what? It'd be awesome if I didn't have to create a system. Like, wouldn't you think a company who wanted to set up their people for success would have created a system already? They did. They did. Does everybody know how to log into their back office? You know how to get into back office? Have you peeked at your rank up roadmap and your shareables? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay. Well, I'm putting together something that I'm just going to send to everybody. We're kind of calling it, I'm going to call it a toolbox. And basically it's a ton of this information all in one place, but I'm not getting it from any magical place, guys. Most of it came from the back office, the team page. Like, these are things that are accessible to anybody. I just went ahead and kind of put them all together. But what really works, what we found really works, is making the initial contact does depend on the relationship. There's no magic way to do it. The most successful people who are looking to build this as a business do reach out with the business. I remember feeling very nervous about that because I wasn't positive that I could take people there, that I was actually a good enough leader to help them build a business. And so I didn't lead with the business as much as I could have or should have, because really Plexus provided what people needed if they, are hungry enough to like just go do that thing. But most of us need an actual like support team and group to do this together with to be successful. So what was I going to say? So leading, I don't think there's a one way fits everybody. Being genuine, I would say, is the biggest thing. Obviously, nobody wants to feel sold to. So there's some really, really beautiful, good ideas that have been compiled on the team page. I don't know if you've ever used the search function on one team page, but you can type in wording or what's another word? Well, wording is a good one. And verbiage, thank you. You can type that in and you will see amazing, just beautiful, heartfelt kind of skeleton messages, and then you make them yours for your reach outs. But I'm so excited to share with you guys the tools that I have found because they are awesome. There's literally charts, guys, charts. I don't know if you can hear me when I'm behind there, that give you you do step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And basically, depending on what kind of person you're talking to, they will fall into category A, B, or C in what they need, which is just beautiful because really putting my ideas or what I want people to do onto them, even if they really try hard to meet my expectations for a little while, how long is that going to last? I mean, as parents, we know that doesn't last all that long. They are their own people, and we want to help them achieve their own goals and success. So let's see, becoming a really, really good question asker and then actually listening. This was hard for me because even when I got good at asking questions, I was thinking about my answer to what I was sure they were going to say instead of really listening to their answer and then dealing with that. So getting good at that. And then events, guys, are so powerful because it's stories. And it's hearing more than just my story or just your story. It is so much, what do we call it, third-party validation. Like, you're much more likely if you hear one person say, oh my gosh, have you tried this restaurant? And you're like, No, I never have. If the person next to them says, oh my gosh, it's amazing, it's my favorite restaurant, you're a lot more likely to be like, maybe I need to check this out, than if it was just one person. So third-party validation is huge. And then having these systems in place keep you from needing to feel stressed or burned out, because the tools that you need to be successful are all in one place. You don't have to go running helter-skelter all over the place trying to find these things. Let me see. Have you all already figured out what your why is? Why you want to or considering sharing Plexus for the health or the opportunity?
Yeah, I've got to say this really changed for me. I mean, initially when I started with you stuff, it was just because I saw it was working, and I saw that the science was so solid that the people I knew could do this and reach their health goals. So for me, it was all about the products, and I kind of took a dare about getting my products paid for. It's like,
I remember.
I posted something like, hey, win a prize, get your products, make your first post, and make a post on Facebook what you like about Plexus. I was like, oh, that's easy. I like everything about it so far. But as far as seeing then the potential for this could actually be a legitimate source of income here. That was a whole nother level of motivation that I had to work through, but that's not where I started. So helping people was really where it started, and it still is that, but it's now it's bigger. So that's me.
Yeah. I think, well, like I said on my little invitation, my why evolved from I was sick and tired to I needed to get my products paid for to, oh my gosh, it worked. Like, it didn't just work for me, it worked like for people I know, to wow, I could contribute to my family, to then like the light bulbs going off of, why am I being so selfish? Like, this is not just people getting healthy. This is, I think statistically, we talked about how people go to bed stressed usually about finances or health. Finances are actually higher on the list than health most of the time. And this could answer for people. It just, it took me this long to get over myself and being so worried about like looking good, as to admitting I really don't have all the answers. Going to the people who do. Like, just going to do what they do. And it's working. Pretty exciting. Okay. So let me see. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to send you guys this thing. And the systems in it, what I love about it is it takes the guesswork out of everything. There's a system for how to reach out to people. So after you reach out with them, then you say this, then you do this, then you do this, then you do this. There's that system. There's another little system for how to help them decide if they want to go silver, and how to coach them along that. There's another, beautiful system that I love of like the contacts, the recommended contacts to have with these people at like 48 hours after they sign up, a week after they sign up, a month after they sign up, and like what your goals should be for helping these people along the way. Because again, if we're really doing this to help people achieve their dreams, and it's not, at least for me, if it's not all about me and it's about me helping them, these checkpoints really help me keep us connected, keep both of us accountable, and make sure that we're checking in on what their goals are and me helping them to achieve them. So there's that. Have you guys seen the Me+3 from the back office? I love this.
Yeah. Isn't that in the success guide too, Stephanie?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Early on in there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's in multiple places. I love how they've structured this. I think as it Shoshana Riesling describes the business plan as a sunburst. If you think about, if you get 3 people, or I think she talks about 5, if you get 5 people and help each of them get 3 people, and each of those people get 3 people, like just the absolute explosion of, think about this too, people that I would never, ever, ever meet. I never would have met half of you on here if it hadn't been for Lana. And like, we're meeting people that we never would have met otherwise. You each have people that you have access to with this blessing that nobody else does. Like it just makes me so excited. Oh my gosh. Okay. So do you want to add anything, Lana? Or who has a question for me? Or Gretchen? Yes, Victoria.
So how do you keep track of all your people? Like you mentioned the 48 hours and I can keep track of mine. I got one. So
Mm-hmm.
that makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
But as you get more people, you sent a video the other night and I was watching it and the lady was talking about, the 5 people. I don't know if it
Mm-hmm.
was the same person that you were just talking about, and she's like, and eventually you'll have 148 people. And I'm like, okay, first of all, that's a lot of people to keep track of and try to message on a daily basis. I was like, if I message somebody every 30 seconds, I don't think I could keep track of that many people.
Good point. Okay. Yes. That's another thing, that my way of doing things was really wrong because I never trained my level 1s. So somebody that you personally sponsor into the business. So Liz and Victoria and Lana are my level 1s. Anne Marie, Deb, and Rita are Lana's level 1s. I am Gretchen's level 1. So anybody you personally sponsor, the idea is ideally to train that person to duplicate what you are doing, because there's not enough of you to go around 148. Diamonds have thousands of people on their team. Nobody's got time for that. So the idea is, with a system, what makes it so beautiful is there's no guesswork. Anybody can do it. So when you have it laid out that this is how you do it, then all you're responsible for, Victoria, is your level 1s and then teaching them how to do it. Now, if you find, and this has happened to me, that one of your level 1s gets excited for a little bit, brings on a couple of people, and then for whatever reason quits or just says they don't have time for the business, like they take their hands off the business, they just want their products, it's super important to have connected with those people just so that they have another point of contact. So if they want to keep going, so one of the things that you'll find in these systems as we start going over them is a practice that I have not done that I'm going to start doing, which is a 3-way chat to introduce my people to my upline. Not because, and see, for me in the beginning, it was, I didn't feel like I needed the help, but that's not the point. The point is, this is a community. This is supposed to feel like we're in this together, that you're not out there flapping in the wind by yourself. If I'm on vacation or my Wi-Fi goes out and somebody needs something, they should know who Gretchen is so that they can, talk to Gretchen. So yeah, did that answer that question? Oh, but how do you keep track of them? There's several different methods out there. Jessica Heffley and a couple other very successful people actually use index cards, and they have different colors for their different types of people. So green might be a customer, yellow might be somebody who told them they only want the products, I'm not going to share. A pink one might be somebody who says they want to share, so she just color codes them that way and keeps them filed alphabetically. And that way you can just take notes on there. That's a system I've heard. Sounds lovely. I personally made a poster board and put Post-its. So you're all on my poster board. Yep. Oh yeah, like Lana. Lana's got a poster board.
I do now. I didn't start with that. I just started with index cards, and then I finally translated that into just a 3-ring binder with a page for each person on my team, so that I'd have some notes when I went back to follow up with them. But you had given me that, maybe you can post that 4-week follow up with a new person who's getting started on their products, and what questions to ask them each week, and then checking in with them once a month kind of after that. So I just went ahead and wrote that out in my calendar, for the next, if somebody starts the triplex, for example, then I write their name 4 days, a week, 3 weeks, and a month later. So I know they're going to need to have their subscription evaluated. Hi, Eliza. They're going to need to have their subscription, reviewed to see if they're ready for their next round and if they're getting what they want and all that. So I just went ahead and wrote it all in. And I'm a paper and pencil calendar person, so that worked for me. Other people might have a better system if they're more